here in Spain. Firstly, on table 2 is the second men's semi-final and the opportunity to play Luca Men in a championship decider. So welcome from Hungary, Oliver Szolnoki. And his opponent from Poland, Lopotko. And on table 1, who will play Shashmalu in the final. Firstly, representing Bulgaria, Kristina Zlateva. And from Austria, Jasmine Ocean. The men play a race to 10 and the women a race to 8, and your referees in charge of the action. On table 2, the Hospitalova of Czechia, and here on table 1, Yana of Serbia. Players, you may lag for the group.
Thank you, Luke Riches, for that great introduction. You join us for the Spanish Open Predator EuroTour 2025. Last day. This is the second of the men's semi-finals on this table. We have the second of the ladies' semi-finals on table 1 commencing. Here, a matchup between the Hungarian Oliver Szolnoki, and he takes on the Polish Hubert Lopotko. Our referee for today's match is Eva Boska-Chilova from the Czech Republic. And joining me in the comms box for this semi-final is my good friend and colleague Joris van Amersfoort. Joris, this is going to be a crunch match.
Absolutely right, Catherine. Thank you very much for your introduction. And everybody, welcome in this second semi-final at the Predator EuroTour in Spain. Yeah, and the winner of this match will promote towards the finals and heads up against Luca Men, who just finished his match against Felix Vogel. 2 German guys in a hill match it went. It was a lot of excitement, and just a roundup, Felix Vogel missed an important ball, and that was a deal for Luca Men. And here in this semi-finals, it's Lopotko with the break-off.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, as we kick off, well, we've seen quite a bit of Oliver Szolnoki over the past week or two, both in the Little Monster International Opens and on the TV table a few times here in this Predator EuroTour event. But his opponent, who just broke, Hubert Lopotko, has taken 3 massive names out in this tournament so far. Sanyin Pelivanovic, Mad Max Lechner, and also Albin Ushan back in the last 32. So, well, this has got the makings of being an absolute classic semi-final.
Yeah, Hubert really deserved his spot here in this semi-final. Worked really hard and got his position here. And of course, Oliver Szolnoki, yeah, what a talent he is, and what a year he has had already with the World Series, etc. So he's doing a great job at the moment.
Absolutely. We had the pleasure of seeing him on his recent trip to the Netherlands, where he made the final in a 9-ball Orange Forks Open tournament. Sadly beaten by a very informed Niels Feyen in the final, and then he backed that up with a final win with, I believe it was Muyan Zhang in the mixed doubles of the Little Monster event here in the Gandia Palace Hotel. And yeah, looking really in form. So 2 players seem to be peaking at the moment. Now,
yeah, this first chance is for Oliver. Just a nice opening shot on the 1. The 2 is available, but the very big issue will definitely be the free ball. Which, if you want to go for a clean run, most logically you will have to bank the free ball. But I'm not quite sure if he feels about that.
I'm just trying to see what safety options he would have off of the three otherwise. Sort of on its own a little bit out there on the long rail.
Yeah, he tries to develop it. Ooh. And did he? I can't see.
He's having a close look.
I think this passes, Kevin.
Well, it does, and then that brings my attention to the 4, which is blocked to the centre pocket and bottom right corner. So, well, he may be able to pot this, but then developing position for the 4 will be tricky too. He's having a double check to see if it passes the 9. I don't think it did from our previous camera angle, so it's going to be interesting, Joris.
Yeah, the another option is going to for a billiard from the 4 into the 9 in the side. I think that's a doable shot, but I'm not quite sure if he can really pace this free ball because it's quite narrow. Yeah, it wasn't too much of options there for Oliver.
Well, the combination on the 7 may be there if the 1 ball has come across enough. A lot of distance between the two, though.
He's called the 7, but indeed I agree that this is very missable. And I also think, position-wise, that he can't play it with a lot of pace. I controlled that fantastically.
Well, if that was to give us an indication of Oliver Szolnoki's intentions for this semi-final, there it is. Did have options
for a treat, Catherine.
Absolutely.
Ooh, he overscrewed that one by a long way. And now he has to play this in the side, and the cue ball is traveling away from the 6. So he has to work with the cue ball here. Might draw it with a lot of pace. Bouncing it back to the center of the table.
Ooh, avoids the 10 very nicely. Has finished center table. Probably the best he could have expected from that, in fairness.
Nicely done.
Yeah, solid pot on the 6. Really tees up the rest of this rack for him. And just for our newer viewers joining us, this is a 10-ball race to 10 event. Slightly different format with breaking. Lag for the break, but the person winning the lag will get a set of 2 breaks, and then it alternates between the players, both having a set of 2 breaks each. Been an exciting format to watch how momentum shifts with that, and this one will be the opener against Hubert's break. So a Hungarian gets off the board first. It will be Hubert to break a second time. So Oliver... Oh, did Oliver win the lag? No, I didn't think so. It looked like he was going to get his break stick then. Just confusing me a little, and with no movement from Hubert. Bit confusing.
Yeah, it was, but he's just taking a little bit longer time. He now took his breaking cue in his hand. So indeed, Lopotko will do his second break in this turn. And
yeah,
indeed, he does not have a big title on his name yet, as I recall, where Oliver Szolnoki, of course, won his golden medal at the World Games this year. Also Antalya Open. So he already got some titles.
Yeah, what I will say with regards to Hubert, his last match, a quarter-final affair against Sanjin Pelavanovic, well, I can tell you now, Pelavanovic was one of my picks to making it to the final, and he made short work of him. I didn't get to see it, but won 10 racks to 2. So Hubert playing out of his skin, and if he brings that form today, well, Oliver could have a real difficult match on his hands.
He is, and Hubert just created another dry break and a bank shot on the 1 as an opener. If he wants to get the cue ball close to the 8 ball, which is the most logical position for the cue ball, I do feel that he has to play this quite firm.
He does.
Therefore, it got short. Actually,
Did it
got
leave a
lucky not
window?
to make it. You think so? Is there a window between the 5 and the 6, Catherine?
I don't know, they both had a look. I couldn't tell from Oliver's body language. No, it doesn't look like it from the overhead.
No, but then it's a quite easy jump if it's just on the over the edge of the 6. I expect him to get his jump cue out. Just over the edge of the 6. Makes it. A few rolls from the 10, but that did not really help him. I do know it still cuts to both the left side pocket and of course the top right, but it's definitely not easy.
He may want to roll up behind the 6 or 9 here, but it looks like he's going for it, Joris. Oh no, my mistake. And that 2 ball has just rolled on a little bit, may have leaked an edge.
Yeah, but I think Oliver has to be aggressive and go for the pot, because there's a lot of value making it, and with all the balls in the center of the table, there's also quite a good safety possibility if you miss it. So I do understand that he's going for the pot here. Well done. How is his luck? That's much better.
Yep,
Nice
not a bad
shot.
effort at all.
No, most definitely not. And got his result. Not out of the woods yet, because from the free ball he will go towards that 4 ball. And he has to get at the other side of the 4. And don't scratch in the side. Well, that little nudge really helped him, I think.
Yeah, it looks like he's avoided bringing the 7 into the path of his cueing, so makes this a bit easier. And chose to bring it round the table rather than screw back. Fancies this side of the 5 to get round for the 6. And this would be a powerful start for Szolnoki against Hubert's first 2 breaks.
Yeah, but position on the 6 is critical for a run out.
Ooh, he may have just come a bit too far this way, Joris. Or has he?
It's indeed very close. He might be just straight and has to go forward and miss the 9. But
Otherwise, when he have to screw him back, he'll bring the 10 and 8 into play, so that wasn't on.
he had the right angle, so played it well. The issue here, of course, he is straight on the 7 and has no option to get the cue ball away from that long rail. I personally like to draw it a little bit back and use the side pocket in order to cue easier. Just like that. Yeah, I like this. So now you can use that space from the side pockets in queuing on the 8. You can even stun it above the 10 to find position for the 9 on the right side.
Yeah, makes a solid pot. The cue ball does leak towards the long rail. Has bounced off a little. Not too much for Oliver to do here. And as I was saying, we've been seeing some very interesting momentum shifts with the break format at this Spanish Open EuroTour event. And, well, it looks like Oliver's taken the first 2 against his opponent's break, and well, depending on how his break is working following his match from yesterday, there's a good chance he could really steal a march, something that it appeared Hubert did yesterday against Pelovanovic. So good strong start. Oliver Szolnoki leads by 2 racks to 0, and it will be his first of his set of 2 breaks. Interesting beginning to this match, Joris.
Definitely, and I'm very curious to see if Oliver can produce a controlled break with making the 1 ball in the side, for example. That would really help him to get to the victory. As far as I've seen on this table, and this is my 3rd match I'm commenting on this table now for this weekend, the break-off did not work for everybody. So I'm curious to see if Oliver has the ability in producing it. And the first thing you can see already is that he's not breaking from close to the box in the center, but breaking from the rail.
Yeah, something he picked up yesterday, or certainly we picked up on yesterday in his quarter-final match against the Brit Patrick. And well, he started to make balls off the break towards the end of the match. And he's made balls in his opening break here in this semi-final. Not exactly the nicest of looks at the 1 ball, but certainly options.
Yeah, there are options. He might be even able to cut this in. I also feel that there's a option for a bank if he feels it. And of course there's an option for safety, but I'm quite curious to see if he's going to be aggressive. And as you can see, he's gonna play safe. The 1 to the 3 ball and the cue ball behind the 10.
Just like that, Joris. And that is not a bad shot. Keeps Hubert quiet. You mentioned our result from our other semi-final, the thriller of a Hill-Hiller between the 2 Germans, Luca Men beating Felix Vogel. We also had a result from the first of our women's semi-final matches. Shasha Liu has beaten Si Pei Chun 8-2, so she will be in the final. Who she will meet, we'll find out from our other table streaming right now between Jasmine Ushan and Kristina Zlateva. I just talked over a great 1 ball. Sorry, Joris.
Never mind. It was interesting to listen to you, but indeed a great jump bank on the 1. He hit that perfectly.
He may have to bring another similar shot, but fantastic. I saw the 1 drop as I was just introducing the second of the women's semi-final matches, which also is going to shape up to be a great.
So I hope we are all back again with the connection. In the meantime, Oliver is running the table.
Yeah. 7 didn't pass the 9. He's got great position in the 7 to the centre here. And you find his opponent, Lopotko, has just come off a very, very convincing win against Samjin Palamanovic. Feeling like he's got to keep Hubert in his chair. He's still been to great effect so far.
So 2 rails forward for a position on the 10 towards the bottom right.
Yep, floating down very nicely. And, well, the best of possible starts for our Hungarian player. If he can make this 10, that will mean he's taken 2 against his opponent's break and now 1 with his break. And after that great jump bank shot from Lopotko, he was so unfortunate not to fall in position for the next ball. So no real mistakes from either player so far, just very good clearances from Oliver Szolnoki, and he will get to break in this 4th rack, leading 3 racks to 0. So a bit of a hill developing for Lopotko, and with this 2 breaks per player, it does give a little bit more chance to get the momentum going. But if you can't get it going on your own break, it does make that a little bit more difficult to get back into the game. So it will be interesting to see how he will respond, but we're not going to get that opportunity straight away, as it will be Oliver's 2nd of his 2 breaks. Raised to 10, so lots of room left in this match. But compared to some of the tight matches we've seen so far, this one is a little bit different. Oliver Szolnoki to break, leading 3 racks to 0. Well, not a good look on the 1, Joris. I could see maybe being able to get the cue ball behind the 3. Around. See, make a great jump back shot already. Far away from the pot. Where's the cue ball going? Okay, right side of the 2. But as that one found the potting position into the bottom right corner.
Extension.
Well done. Hubert Lopotko gets his first on the board. And, well, sorry for the small disruption in the commentating there. Both Joris van Amersfoort and myself, we're not at the venue. We are both based in the Netherlands, coming to you today. And there just seemed to be a little gremlin. But good sign for Hubert. And just to check, my colleague Joris van Amersfoort is back with us too. Joris?
Yes, I'm here. I hope you can hear me too.
Excellent. Excellent.
Perfect,
Yes, loud and
perfect.
clear.
Very, thank you. And of course, thanks to the team, the production team in the venue there, doing an amazing job. Not only the sound, but of course the cameras. And we're happy to bring you this semifinals from Gandia.
Yeah, the production team doing a great job, especially when put on the spot. And that got us back to you as quickly as possible. So hopefully not too much of a disruption, but we are 3-1 to Oliver Szolnoki, and Hubert Lopotko will begin his second set of 2 breaks. And we're looking to be pushing on from that last rack.
And I'm sure that Lopotko would love to not use his jump cue as much as he did in the first 4 racks.
Yeah, absolutely. However, did make a couple of good ones. Sadly felt foul on a couple of others. And while we just watch Hubert take this shot on the 2, just a quick update from our other semi-final in the women's event, the second of them. Matchup between Kristina Zlateva and Yasmin Ushan. Well, Zlateva has taken a 3-0 lead in that match. So Yasmin will need to grind a little bit harder. I wouldn't put it past her, but a great match lined up on there as well.
For now, quite an interesting score indeed, but you can count on Yasmin Ushan to fight her way back in the match.
Yep. Hubert having to do similar here, but he's done a good service in putting Oliver into a tricky spot. 2, maybe 3 rail escape. Did make it, but where's the 2 going?
Well, definitely available for the side pocket. Cue ball drifting a little bit away from the 3, and as you can see, the 4 is in a little bit of an awkward position close to that 5 ball. But yeah, let's see what Hubert Lopotko will do. In an interview yesterday where he won his match in the quarterfinals, he told that he is going to take this semifinals as a ball after ball, rack after rack match. No big plans, no expectations. Just do what you have to do, pot some balls.
That's how we love this game. We do enjoy potting the balls. Always nice to have a bit of added pressure and some competition, but with that attitude, it's very, well, it just allows you to enjoy the game that bit more.
To be honest, Catherine, I did not expect that he would play for that little spot at that side of the 4, but he played it perfectly.
Yep, and if he can navigate this cue ball to find the window between the 9 and the 10 for the 6, or even get in there, well, he'll be in prime position to get another rack on the board and start to get this match closer.
Right, he found that gap. The 9 is really close in line of the potting angle, but I think he can still see enough of the 6. But he needs to stun this back over the 9 to shoot the 7 in the side pocket. So that's quite a powerful shot, I think, to get there. Needs to roll further.
Yeah,
If not,
nice call.
yeah, he again has to grab for his jump cue. Now, I know he can't reach it with a normal stroke, a pendulum stroke, so I guess he has to do this with a dart stroke. And as long as you... Oh, he's still using a pendulum stroke. He's quite a tall guy then.
Yeah, does only need to go over the edge of 9. So a little hop and a skip and a pot. Wow. Well, you fancied him for it, bearing in mind he didn't have to play the jump with the dart stroke, because that does increase the difficulty of it. He makes it look easy.
Very well done. And after a 3-0 lead by Oliver, it looked like Hubert Lopotko is closing the gap. And with this 10, he is trailing only 2 against 3. Feels a little bit nervy, I guess. It took a little bit longer time on that 10.
He did, but made sure of it, and quite a crucial rack for him to win. The first of his second round of breaks will be I think he'll be looking to maybe not have to bring that jump cue out again, as you said, even when self-inflicted. However, not a bad little jump from him. Maybe the more jumps he makes, the more he'll put himself in that position. I wouldn't recommend it for a second, Joris.
Practicing jump shots during a semi-finals match in a EuroTour. No, that's not really common to do, indeed.
No. But we are now day 4 of this 4-day event. Last day, we will have the finals of both the women's and men's event coming up after this at 5 p.m. local time, so in 2.25 hours. But these players have played a lot of matches, and it started at 9 in the morning. Some of the matches finished very late at night. Be interesting to see how the players have managed their energy levels.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Kevin. And to be honest, the former semi-final in the men's division was between Luca Men and Felix Vogel. And that match started at 11 o'clock and it finished at 1:45. So 2 hours and 45 minutes took that match. Well, if they copy that same length, then they will finish this match at 4:45 and the final starts at 5 o'clock. So that could really be an issue for the finals.
Well, it will save them from having to warm up. They should be in stroke by then.
Absolutely right, yes.
Holding for this 2 round the 8, has he?
Not quite sure if it's got far enough. Might be a little bit too short.
He did this in the last rack. Self-inflicted safeties. Jumped over the last time. Or maybe he does have this. He's had a good look. No. Had to play safe. Played a good one though, Joris.
Yeah, by the looks of it, good shot. Got the cue ball very close to that short rail, which makes cueing very difficult. Now I do feel that kicking it from the right side is available too. Just missed the free ball and it will be there. Of course you can kick it from the left side. I don't like that at all. And now I think Oliver is taking a look and just missing the 8. Goes straight down, 1 rail back up. Yeah, that's what he can do. So just miss the 8, tons of left side English, and spin it towards the 2. keep the pace quite easy, not too pacey.
Oh, the cue ball slid off the 2 with a bit of side and has come up towards the center of the table, quite close to the 2. Looks like there's a line up into that top right pocket. Not too sure what he just said or asked the referee there. Oh, you can see what he tried to do there. He wanted the 9 out the way for the 5 to go in that pocket. That's what I believe he played there.
Much. Yeah, I think so too. He wanted to open up the pocket, but as you can see, the 9 was in a position too high where the object ball, the 2 ball, would not go into the pocket but into the long rail. Therefore it stayed out. And a chance here for Oliver Szolnoki. Rail first going around the 9 and the 5, around the 8. Oh, he missed it.
I wasn't sure if it was on or not, but either way, he's played a nice, very delicate safety here. There may have been a window between the 5 and 9, which won't help. Just to note for our viewers at home, if you're wondering, this Predator Spanish Open EuroTour event has a prize pot of 50,000 euros. The winner taking 6,000. The runner-up taking 4,600 euros. And the third place 3,000. So quite an uplift from winning this match. Both players will have that somewhere in the back of their mind, I'm sure.
Choosing for some kind of a snooker safety where you just bank the object ball from short rail to short rail. It's not bad, but Lopotko does have a cut shot on this 2 ball. I think it goes into the top left. And if that is available, then I think he has to go for it.
Yeah, he may be able to bring the cue ball. If he can avoid the 5, he could bring the cue ball down around this 2 ball. Oh, he's having to jack up.
Yeah, he's going for the bank. That's what he called. Again, a great shot. Nicely controlled.
He nearly locked the cue ball against the 5 as well. Well, he's had quite a bit of practice in these 5 racks so far. And he seems to be getting more accurate by the second. However, this leave does give Szolnoki a good look at this 2 into the bottom left.
Wow, that's a nice shot. Seeing the great fundamentals of Oliver Szolnoki.
Well, now we'll be able to find out if Hubert moved the 9 enough for the 5 to go into the right corner. It doesn't look like, from the way Szolnoki was placing his cue, that it does, and he may be coming up the short side of this, the blind side.
I think it goes to the short side indeed. And he played that very nicely.
Fantastic. Both players playing strong when they're in the balls. Explains how they've got to this point in this EuroTour event. I did mention, Joris, this is our last EuroTour of 2025. And if you do want to keep track of the up-and-coming events, please do visit the epbf.com website. And I can just give you a little sneak preview that we will return in the new year for the European Masters from the 5th to the 7th of February, and also the Malmo Open 8-Ball Challenge over in Sweden. And then following that in March, we will be kicking off from the 28th of February to the 10th of March for the Predator European Pool Championships, and that will be followed by the Predator Antalya EuroTour Open, and that will be 12th to the 15th of March. So as soon as we get into the new year, we're back off and running again, and these players won't have much time to relax and open their presents.
No, indeed not. So busy times, a lot of pool, and especially important for you guys at home, a lot of pool will be streamed. Nicely done there by Oliver.
Yeah.
Fallen pretty straight on this 9-ball. I would love to be just over the side pocket, closer to the 10. To be sure, got a decent shot. Don't want to scratch somewhere. Well, that's barely over the side of the, over the line of the side pocket, so not the easiest of the shots. A little bit of missable shot this is. Let's see if he can keep his nerves calm, his arms straight. Yes, he can.
He can, and gets his lead back to 2 racks, and it will be his turn to start his set of 2 breaks. So quite an important time for Szolnoki to stop the Hubert comeback. I do want to add, as I was giving you the dates for forthcoming events, and some of these players may be traveling across the pond over to the US, where we will have it the 16th of December, so just a couple of weeks from now, the Jacks Men's and Mixed Doubles Open in Jacksonville, Florida, and also at the same time taking place there, the Kamui Women's World 9-Ball Championships. So there's still a little bit of pool to get in before Christmas, but for us on the European circuit, we will be back the 5th of February for the European Masters. As we just take a little look at our ref, Eva Poskachilofa from the Czech Republic, been doing a great job over the past 4 days here, and also past 8 days before that at our preceding events here at the Gandia Palace Hotel. Thanks ever so much to the staff. 4-2 Oliver Szolnoki, and to break. Race to 10.
Again, Oliver choose to go and have the break from the top side of the rail, close to the long rail, and again the wing ball is going 4 rails around and find some gravity in the corner. And again, as you can spot the position of the 1 ball, that's the position that the 1 ball has been traveling to for all the breaks by Oliver. And also again, he does not have an enter shot on this one. An opening.
Looking for it to come behind the 6 and to stop. It's done that. And well, as we've seen so far, our Hungarian Szolnoki has been showing a lot of respect to his opponent, not really letting him have any real looks in, because when he has, he's finished off the rack, so putting him in trouble again. And well, it'd be interesting to see the stats, but there's a good chance this chap Lopotko has had his jump stick out every rack so far.
Yeah, I think so too, indeed. Indeed. And he has produced some great jump shots already. Nice jump in the side, a nice, well, jump bank, what he is opting for right now too. So he's calling, but I'm not quite sure it passes the 7. So. In the end, it hit the 10, but a good hit, a decent hit. Made sure there was quite some distance and even a snooker.
Yeah.
So now Oliver with the jump stick.
A great advert for Predator jump cues. We've seen a lot of jumps already in this match. Here comes another one, and well, if he doesn't make the pot here, there is a bit of traffic, but he'll be doing well to get safe from it. So big shot at 4-2 for Oliver.
Well, he definitely went for the pot, but missed it, and actually giving now a full open table towards Lopotko.
Yeah, and having a look around the table, Joris, there doesn't seem to be too many problems for him to worry about.
To be honest, no. 6 to the 7 looks like the most interesting shot, and it is because some lines are a little bit awkward blocked. So from the 4 to the 6, well, I have to admit, Gethin, I am deeply looking for some issues, but this is a must run out for Hubert.
No, absolutely, and he's just taking a look at the 4 there. If he can leave the cue ball there or even straighter on the 4, he just has a very gentle shot to come down for the 6 and leave a good angle to screw back up to the top of the table for the 7, taking the 9 out of play. And we've seen him already in his 2 racks that he has won do it from similar positions. He's just come the wrong side of the 4. Just wondering if he can punch it into the long rail above the center pocket, maybe.
Definitely can, or even stop it right there. But he can use that long rail and bounce back up. I decided to make a stop shot. And as you can see, he really needs to get at the top side of the table. In preference somewhere in a kitchen. But that's a long way. And I'm not quite sure if drawing is doing it. So therefore, top spin. And he got a little short. And he most probably will run into the 9 after making the 7.
Ooh. He's just looking at what angle he'll come in. I'm just wondering if he loads up with lots of right hand side, will the cue ball come off the 9, hit the long rail, and then pitch back down the table? Oh, he's calling the bank, Joris.
He
Wants
sure
to avoid
is.
the 9.
And drawing it straight back to the short rail. Nicely done. I love that he plays with that much guts to go for. And he has the right angle. It's not a lot of angle, but he has some angle. So I think he was now looking at stunning it towards the temple. He could play it with topspin and use the rail, but bit of a personal preference here. Yeah, it's not that much. He leaves himself a very sharp cut shot on this 9.
Yeah, he felt that he didn't want to play that shot much harder, and that has left a bit more of a tester on the 9.
No.
Ooh.
No around.
Yeah,
to
he's
be honest,
disappointed.
yeah, he's definitely disappointed, and I have to say that I would really go forward 1 rail and get to the right side of the 10. I rather worked a little bit harder on the 8 ball than leaving myself this cut shot.
Yeah. Agreed, Joris. He clearly fancied the cut down the rail, but it wasn't to be, and that brings Oliver Szolnoki back to the table, who's just come up a little bit short on this 10, but you feel he will make it in the center pocket, and well, this could be the difference now between 4-3 and Oliver taking a 5-2 lead, which is certainly not insurmountable, but will allow him just to relax a little bit more.
Yeah, this definitely brings some pressure on Hobert. And he's taking his cloth off, so he will take a timeout. Each player has a 5 minutes timeout option per match.
Just take a look over at our other table in play. Matchup between Kristina Zlateva. She takes on Yasmin Ushan for a place in the final. The other finalist has already been decided. Great performance from Sasha Liu of China. She beat Sai Pei Chun 8 racks to 2 in the match preceding this on this table. And the other semi-final of the Predator EuroTour Spanish Open men's was won in an absolute thriller of a hill-hiller, as we put it. Luca Men from Germany beating his countryman Felix Vogel in a very, very tight, contested and long game. Felix Vogel winning the Under-19 World Championships here not but a few days ago, a week ago in fact. So we've been getting great success and making a semi-final in this event. Fantastic for him. He's looking forward to a good new year. Felix Vogel and Luca Men will be looking to make it a good end of the year for himself. I'm not too sure. Joris, did you catch the scores from the other table? I'm just doing a refresh now.
Yeah, it's 5-1 for Svetlana against Yasmin Ushan, which is a bit surprising because I think most of the people favorite Yasmin Ushan in this match. I was commentating on the match between Yasmin Ushan before, and I have to say that there were quite some hiccups in her match where she, during quite some period, she actually kind of lost it. Made some weird errors, nothing worked well anymore, all positions were off, which is not really what we are used to see from Yasmin.
No, and maybe it's just a little bit of a pattern here in Spain for her. She made the semi-finals of the Little Monster Women's International Open last week here in the Gandia Palace Hotel in Spain. She was bested by Kelly Fisher in the semi-final there, and she also got knocked out in the semi-finals of the Little Monster Mixed Couples Open International. She was playing with her brother Albin Ushan in that, and she lost to Wang and Marco Teutscher in the semi-final. But in making it to this semi, she played absolutely fantastic against Xu Qin Chang in a quarter-final event. And as we mentioned quarter-finals, her opponent Zlateva picked off a very in-form, strong Pia Filler. So, well, Zlateva showing what she's capable of, and certainly is putting Yasmin to the test over on our other table. Good stuff, Joris.
Most definitely, most definitely. And Kristina is definitely a talented pool player. We should never have to take away from her capabilities that she is 5-1 up against this Yasmin Ushan.
Yeah, and as we bring it back to our table, Joris, Hubert's taken his break. He's coming back to the table now. But let's not ignore the fact he has beaten Sanjin Pelovanovic 10-2 in the quarterfinal. In the last 16, he beat Mad Max Lechner, who is by no mean feat a pushover. And the match before that, he took out Albin Ushan, who you probably would have picked to be in the semi-finals. So we know what he's capable of, and although he's trailing 3 racks to Oliver Szolnoki here, I've got a feeling if Oliver does give him a little opening, we could be in for another clanger of a semi-final in the men's division. So Oliver Szolnoki gets to break. He's leading 5 racks to 2 in this race to 10. Is he making balls?
Well, the thing I really, well, am interested in is that the womble again is in the exact same spot as all the breaks before from Oliver. And to be honest, the cue ball is also in the same spot. So somehow he reproduces his break very consistent, but not in a positive way for himself.
Well, the difference between this rack and the last rack, identical opening shots, but Szolnoki played the safety off the one in the last rack. Lopotko doing it this time. Very similar shots, pushing the cue ball up towards an object ball and getting distance and balls in the way. It'd be interesting if we could have a collection of replays of Szolnoki's breaks.
A nice kick shot there. He called
it.
Absolutely. So absolutely earned the fact that he now has a great chance. But you can see that the 5 is on the same rail, and the cue ball will drift away from this rail. So he could go through the corner 2 rails, or only 1 rail, which would be better. Just like that. Nice shot. Yes, great shot. Well done.
Oh, and he could hold the cue ball here near the long rail for the 3 into the bottom left corner, and that will start to open up this rack for him very nicely. And I have to say, I felt Lopotko's safety on the 1 ball there was enough to at least keep Oliver at bay.
Oh my. What happened there?
Did he try to cheat the pocket to hold for the 3? I'm not sure.
I don't see anything weird going on.
Well, our first real mistake, or certainly noticeable mistake from either player, and we're at racks in the 8th rack now. So strong stuff from these world-class players, but this is not the time to be giving a player such as Hubert opportunity here. Ooh.
I think this free ball passes to the corner, and that would be ideal, because then he can just roll up towards the 10 ball. Has great position on the 4. So if that shot is on, I think he has to go for it. Oh, he played safe all day long.
Not sure where I sit on that one. I did feel that there was a pot into the center pocket to hold the cue ball for the 4 as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that would be the first thing I saw, but then I thought, hey, if you can go to the corner, you can do it
even better.
That's a bad choice, yeah, indeed. But if that wasn't available, I would still fancy the shot to the side pocket. But interesting that Hubert Lopotko chose otherwise.
Well, we've seen once already in this rack Szolnoki get out of the safety and pot a ball. Will this be a second time?
How's his luck? He has raised his hand towards Lopotko.
Well, always had a chance, got a thin edge, and with all that traffic down at this end of the table, I understand why he's raised his hand, but he was certainly expecting, if not to get the 3 in, to get good cue ball, and has done that. Now, this may give Lopotko a chance to jump over the edge of the 7. He does like his jump stick, or whether he does or he doesn't, he's had to in this match. Okay.
Jumping it straight on the nose, 2 rails out, and he's just calling it as a backup, but he will jump the free ball 3 rails around, trying to find some cover behind the 7 or the 10.
Bridging over the 4 as well makes this a bit trickier. That's what he wanted, Joris.
Yeah, another great jump shot, I have to admit, by Hubert. And indeed, he found the cover behind the 10 ball. and I think he fully deserved it.
Ooh.
Called the free ball on the side from the 9, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be the insurance shot. He's looking to play one rail kick and stick, Joris. We've seen him do this to great effect a few times already in this match, but if the 3 hits the 4, it could be danger.
What? Oh, that was so close.
Wow.
What an attempt it was.
He did get good cue ball, but well, we've seen Lopotko with his jump stick make some fantastic jumps so far. How long is that cue he's got in his hand there?
No, but oh yeah, he's still jumping it. Oh, he needs some pace.
Ooh.
Oh, the cue ball is down in the corner pocket.
That is unfortunate, Joris. Look where he's got the 3 ball there as well.
Absolutely,
Fact,
got another snooker if it stayed out.
yeah, absolutely. So a difficult jump shot, made to look easy, and just didn't get rewarded this time. And ball in hand in this 8th rack. 6-2 is a much tougher scoreline than 5-3.
Indeed. So he left himself a angle from the top side on the 4. And now he has to go around the 7 and the 10 to find that spot for the 6 in the corner, towards the corner. And your pace needs to be good on this shot.
Yep, that's not
Not
bad
bad
at all.
No. So the 7 potentially go to the side. Indeed, 2 rails out for position to shoot the 7 in the right side pocket.
Needs it to come a bit further, Joris.
It is. It still cuts back to the corner, to the side pocket. At least that's what I would guess he's going for. And screw the object, the cue ball, underneath the 8 ball. But looks like he's playing the 7. Yeah, he's playing the 7 in the corner. What's the object ball going to do? Wow.
That's not bad.
I think it's a great shot.
I felt the cue ball was going to leak further down the table, to be honest. It hasn't.
And I think he played this with a lot of inside English just to keep the cue ball there, which makes the pot a lot harder too. But he did a great job.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of interviewing Oliver Szolnoki earlier this year, or a month or 2 ago, at the Dutch Orange Forks Open, and this chap is a very, very humble player. He is just so relaxed, and he's always got a lovely smile on his face. He's a pleasure to have on the tour with us. And as you alluded to with some of his earlier results this year, including Antalya, well, 2026 is looking very rosy for him. Getting to the final in this event will be a real cream on top of the cake stuff. And he does, Joris. He
Absolutely
extends 6-2.
6-2, absolutely, and only 4 more racks needed. And for Hubert Lopotko, it's yeah, really.
He's got to do
alarm
twice that.
bells ringing.
Yeah.
He really needs to get something different than a jump cue, because also you make nice jumps if you don't, well, convert that into scoring. Well, you end up losing the match.
No, and I didn't get to see his matches against Sanjin, Max Lechner and Albin, but he clearly has the ability to grind and deliver. He's not daunted by big names, so I'm not going to count him out by any stretch of the imagination. But if Oliver's policy of keeping a jump stick in his opponent's hand is going to continue, then you do feel that gives him the advantage. Maybe that's what's reflected in the scoreline so far. So Hubert Lopotko of Poland will get his set of 2 breaks off. He trails 6 racks to 2 in this race to 10 semi-final for a place in the final at the Spanish Open EuroTour 2025. Where's that cue ball going?
It's going down to the pocket, got kicked away, so that's really bad luck. And ball in hand on this apparently quite open table, but the very big issue is the 2 ball. As you can see, it's maybe an option to open them up, to screw the cue ball into the 10. Other option is to land below the 2 ball and shoot it in the far corner. But he's opting to give the 10 a little nudge, and so he did.
It just looked like he kicked his hip out when he wanted to nudge the 10. That was kind of cool.
And I believe it works. A little dance always helps.
Absolutely.
So
that and a little mutter to the balls.
Indeed. Nicely done.
Okay.
Got the cue ball all the way to the other side to shoot the 3 and the 4 in the same corner. And after that, if he falls nicely from the 4 on the 5, then this should also go towards Oliver Szolnoki.
Well, his opponent was unfortunate to give him ball in hand from the break. You could arguably say his first shot was the key shot. Got in between the 10 with a little hip wiggle, and the balls are really nicely positioned for him now. That's not going to bode well for Hubert. Can only hope to get back to the table.
And to be honest, I said, if you fall nicely on the 5, this should be over, and he falls ball in hand perfect on the 5. So
yep.
I don't see this going anywhere wrong.
This is where the commentator's curse comes into effect.
I'm trying for you, Lopotko, but
the power that we have from the microphone.
If we had that much power, Catherine, then I probably would have used it for other things.
And would be putting a wager on the side. Well, he's finished straight on the 7 as well.
He has to screw back to where it was right now.
Yep.
Leaving himself a nice angle on the 7, bringing the cue ball back towards the 10, and I feel that that's the only challenge or the only risk there is, that the 10 is going to argue with this. But Oliver knows that that's a little bit of a risk and took it out of the equation. Now I assume you go forward 2 rails out. That's what I would do. Back to the center of the table. He's looking to screw it, isn't it?
I think he might be just too straight to force an angle.
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
he may be having to screw into the 10 here off the off the long rail.
Yeah, you're right.
Ooh.
Wow. That does work.
I have to say, I get a bit nervous when balls are going to move off of shots. That time the 10 ball maneuvers into quite a cushy position for him, and Oliver Szolnoki not making many mistakes, neither is his opponent, but the difference being his opponent is having to jump out of trouble most of the time. Oliver Szolnoki not so much so. takes a 7-2 lead in this race to 10. Well,
only 3 more racks required for position in the finals, where he will head up against Luca Men. That match will start in about 1.5 hours from now, so 5 o'clock Spanish time.
it will indeed, and we'll have that on one of our streaming tables, and also on the other we will have the final of the women's event. The Chinese player, very informed player, Xiaoxiao Liu, has already booked a place in that. And just taking a look over at the other table, it does look like Kristina Zlateva is trying to put one foot in the final. She leads Yasmin 6 racks to 2 on our other stream table. So Yasmin will be digging deep as, well, it looks like a ball's been made off the break here for Lopotko. He's not been fortunate again on having a look in of the one ball, and I'm afraid to say this has been a bit of a pattern, not just in this match, but in quite a few matches we've seen on this table. You alluded to it earlier, Joris.
Yeah, it's one big issue, and well, an issue for most of the players with the break off. And I really like the fact that because of that we don't see a lot of break and runs. We can see quite some battles going on.
Well, he's played a push.
Yeah, and I would take it on because you can see the edge of the one. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure now, because you will kick the one ball towards the two ball.
You'd need to bring the 10 into play.
Because there's not a big reward in taking it on. You can only slow roll this with a thin hit on the one. And if you take a look at the next shot, you probably have a more decent possibility to get it safe.
Yeah.
They'll tap on the table as an excuse. He knows he got a little bit away with it. And Oliver can see the edge of the one, sending it towards the 8 ball. But what to do next?
Oh, is he going to call it in the centre pocket and play the 1 off the 8? Or the 7? Could be on. The Karom into the centre pocket with the 1. Might be a bit cheeky. But from the overhead, anything's possible in our seat.
I think he did go for that shot.
I don't know if he called it, but he was going to be in trouble on the 2 if he did. However, this time the Pole gets to the table without the need to bring his jump stick with him. And it seems like it's been a while since we've seen that, so will be time for him to start making moves.
Yeah, I can snuck a safety from short rail to short rail and played it very nicely. Had that wall of 3 balls, the 6-3 and the 10 to fall behind.
Looks like he might have enough room around the 10 for a 1 rail kick stick.
Yeah, with tons of left side English. You can see he's putting a lot of left side English on the cue ball. Well played.
Yep.
Now I would really like to stick that cue ball underneath the 4 ball, Kevin.
Me too. I wouldn't mind calling. Is it the 5 up in the top left corner? There's a bit of backup maybe.
Well, I would slow roll it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to create more distance as he's been doing, but he elected to push the 1 over to the opposite short rail. Has come up short.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of the safety shots by Hubert. Really had to bounce the one ball way more up table.
Did the cue ball run far enough? It certainly did.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the 4 and the 2 ball are not in an easy position. The 2 is not passing the 4, I guess.
I've seen this position come up a few times, and my co-commentators have sort of indicated he should come the other way so that the cue ball will track over towards the traffic. The traffic's all on the right-hand side of the table. If he plays it this way, the 1 and cue ball will both stay out in the open, as it has done here. And I'm just wondering if either it's too easy for us here, or maybe they
it's what I absolutely agree with. Indeed, all the balls are to the right side, so I would have definitely kicked from the left side instead of the right side. And I also had a discussion with Tim in using the speed. Like, are you playing for the speed that it has the biggest, well, option to fall into the pocket, or do you play with the right speed to find the most chance on defense, on covering the cue ball or the object ball? And we both agreed that it's more important to find cover than focus on anything else. So
yeah, interesting.
Oh, he runs straight into the 8. That was not part of the plan.
Still has the window for the shot on the 2, but doesn't look like it passes the 4 into the corner pocket. And where that cue ball's landed, it's going to reduce what he can do with the cue ball after contacting the 2. Ooh, Joris, I don't think that's neither safe nor...
I'm quite sure it's not. Now he can go forward, cue ball above maybe the 7, so go a little bit further up table. Still has to make the 2 ball, of course, don't forget that. Well, makes the 2 in the corner, find a nice position on the 3. So this is looking good for Hubert.
Yeah, and you feel he's got to start making his moves now. He was sat in his chair for a while, hoping for an opportunity like this to arise. He's got it. Now he needs to convert it.
Absolutely. And that 6 ball does not pass the 7 to the side, so he has to work a little bit from the 4 towards the 6. Gotta make a decision in what corner you want to play the 6 ball. And the... Well, where is it going? Oh, he got lucky. He really got lucky there.
Now that's the time I would put my hand up to my opponent.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah. Or now. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter for Hubert. By hook or by crook, he needs to start getting some racks on the board and start to reduce this 5 rack deficit. And this could be the first of that. As he does, Joris sink the 10, brings the score back to 7-3, and, well, he still has a little bit more of a mountain to climb, but he started it off.
Yeah, and normally I expect that you have to use your jump cue as many times as, well, like in a race to 10. Okay, if you use it 10 times, then that's a good average. Well, I'm for sure Hubert has already used his jump cue for 10 times this match. So
yeah.
therefore I assume that he will not have to take his jump cue anymore.
Well, that would be good news for him. However, I will give him full credit. Although he hasn't made every jump shot, he's made some big ones, and that jump bank was one of them. I did take a note of that. That will be a highlight shot.
In the meantime, there's a timeout to the other match. Yasmin Ushankap won back, trading 3-6 against Kristina Slateva. And Oliver Szolnoki to break from the side, bringing the one ball to the exact same spot as always. And this time he broke a little bit firmer, because the one ball also bounced off that short rail, but failed to make a ball, and now giving a full chance to Hubert Lopotko.
Yeah, this is...
See if he can turn this into a breaker run.
Well, nice cut on the one to start off his account, and this is the first of Oliver Szolnoki's set of 2 breaks, as he leads 7-3 in this 11th rack. But if a dry break can be punished by Hubert, well, he'll start to ask a couple of questions of the Hungarian. And I mentioned, it appears that he's had to grind a few times over the past 4 days. And this rack is opening up quite nicely for him.
Sure did. That 6 goes nicely towards the left side pocket. From there can choose to shoot the 7 in the corner or in the side.
Yeah, looks like side pocket. And screw back to a similar position where the cue ball is now, unless he wants to bring it out across the center of the table for the 7 in the top right.
Yeah,
Punch.
just turn it to this place. That's lovely.
And, well, only in a
7
few
score,
minutes.
is that a match? You think, Catherine? Do you think if it's 7-4 we are still into a match?
Yes, and I also think if Oliver dry breaks and Hubert delivers the same, it'll be back to his break with only 2 in it. So, we both know how Poole can play funny games with the players. And as we've seen over the past few days, if the breaks don't get working, it does give a much better chance for momentum to shift, and momentum has shifted at least for the last 2 racks now. Hubert Lopotko brings the score back to 7-4. It will be Oliver Szolnoki to break in his second of 2 breaks in this format, and, well, I don't think it's over yet, but, well, Oliver has put Hubert in a mountain to climb situation.
Yeah, to be honest, if Lopotko wants to win this match, he has to beat Oliver eventually from this point on 6-2. So that's quite a challenge, of course. But to come back on his own words, from now on, it's really got to be ball by ball, rack by rack, and climb your way back up into this match. And you see where he's positioning his cue ball, Kevin? He's moving away. Yeah, he's moved away from the rail.
Oh. 9 flies in.
And this is cuttable. And he is a right-handed player. Oh, he might have to play this with the rest.
You fancy him having a go at this, Joris?
Oh, absolutely.
I like it.
Because it still cuts. Yeah, that's what I said. He's right-handed. I think he can reach this. Take off the extension of the cue and just get your leg on the table. And I'm quite sure he could reach it. Well, choose to go for the rest. He did not. Well, he produced a fantastic safety, of course. But I would have fancied him to go for it. But apparently he just couldn't reach it.
Well, he's blocked the up and down on the bottom shorts rail. So he's being forced to go up there, maybe with a 2-rail kick and stick behind. But he'll need that 1 ball to travel because there's not much traffic over there.
Yeah, and by the looks of it, Kevin, he really needs to curve with a lot of bottom left to make the angle. And if you do that, you can't really pace it. So he's in quite some trouble here. And there's an option if the hit is very difficult, he could tie up the 3 to the 10.
You hear the call of time from our adjudicator.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh, he's just looking. I don't think the 6 has covered it though. Could find himself back in trouble.
But he will run into the 3 ball after making the 1 ball. And he has to move the cue ball over to the left side of the table for the 2. So this is not guaranteed. Not making the ball is of course not guaranteed. But finding position on the 2 neither. Wow. He completely missed contact with the 3 and the 10, wasn't it?
Yep, and well, the spin that he had on the cue ball has just taken it further down towards this short rail, making this shot that bit more difficult.
If you find a spot just above that green 6 ball, just like that, that's good.
It is. This has not been an obvious layout for Oliver either. This would be a good time to go on the offense because it just felt like Lopotko was getting back into the swing of things. What he will not want to do. Oh, yeah, well, what he won't want to do now though is make a mistake towards the tail end after doing all this hard work and let Lopotko in, so needs to keep this tight.
And to point out one interesting layout issue for Oliver here is that the 8 does not pass the 10. So from the 7 he really needs to go back towards up table and shoot the 8 in the same corner as he's shooting the 7. So he needs to work a little bit in the end.
Yeah, and the difference for Oliver's comfort level here between taking an 8-4 lead and or rather letting Lopotko get to 7-5 with him beginning his set of 2 breaks. You feel this could be the crucial rack for Szolnoki here, and it's not been the easiest for him, and he's still not out.
Well, he found a perfect angle on the 7. No side needed, just top spin it, just over the side pocket line. Perfect.
Yeah, this would really put the pressure on Hubert if it wasn't already on him.
Yeah. 7-4 is such a big difference than 8-4 in a race to 10.
Well,
But Oliver did it. Indeed.
I have to say, in summary, well, the breaks have not been going either way for the players, in fairness. I think we've had maybe 1 break and run, if at all. But what has been the difference, and as we've picked up on a few times as we watch Eva Boskachilova from the Czech Republic rack them up, is that when it comes to safety play, although Hubert has a great jump game, it's maybe just been a jump too far on some occasions, and that's really allowed Oliver to just get into the lead and develop on it, trying to look for ways for Lopotko to be able to get back into this match. It will be his set of 2 breaks now. He's got to win both of these, and it would be even better if he could win one of them with at least with a break and run, and just put a shot out across the bow of his opponent Oliver Szolnoki. Powerful break, makes the 1 and another, and shape on the blue 2, Joris.
Indeed he has. I think he has to slow roll this, because if you want to play a stop shot, then that wouldn't work, or you draw it into the 3. So I think slow rolling is the best option. Nicely done, very well played. Even played it too soft, because he wanted to have a little bit of an angle on the 3.
The 6 is just hampering getting really easy shape on the 5 as well, so could do with a good angle left on this 4 ball. He's just
Yeah, so the option is to draw it straight back to the right long rail with some left side English and spin it out. He could also play a rail first if he, well, relies on that shot. Looks like a draw shot around the 10. Perfect.
Yeah, great angle. Okay, that's part 1 in this 13th rack for Hubert,
Yeah.
and this looks like it could be the key shot.
It sure is. He really has to make a decision where he wants the cue ball going to. Maybe towards the 9. Over the 6. Ooh, these kisses are not the right kisses for him. Of course, there's still a bank to the side available, and I think he has to go for it, indeed. Sending the cue ball to the bottom left. maybe close to where his chalk is would be ideal. Oh, he dared to play it even further. Very nice played.
Well, Lopotko proving he's not out of this yet. He has 4 more balls left on the table to stop Oliver Szolnoki getting to the hill in this race to 10. Great time for this clearance. And yeah, he does look like he's going to punish Szolnoki's dry break here.
Yes, I think so too. Drawing it to the left side of the 10.
And Joris, it's going to ask a question of Szolnoki's next break.
Yeah, very interesting to see what he will do. My prediction is that he will stay away from the rail because that really didn't work. Go a little bit to the center. We have a little bit longer to talk about this because he is going to take a timeout here.
Don't blame him.
No, me neither. 8-5. So the match is definitely not over. And I think that he will power it in just like last break, because that eventually did work very well. And another match that is not over yet is the match you can see in the bottom right. The semi-finals of the women edition. Yasmin Ushan was far away down. I think it was a 5-1 score, wasn't it, Kevin?
It was certainly looking like that. And now, well, Yasmin, as you predicted, would dig deep and grind hard, and is now 2 racks in it. She trails by 6 racks to 4 against Kristina Zlateva. And while we just take a pause from the action, if you'd like to go and grab your pens and paper, just to let you know that the EuroTour will return back in March for the Antalya Open, but before that we have the European Masters over in Sweden, coupled with the Malmo Open 8-ball challenge, and that starts on the 5th of February for 3 days. And then just before the Antalya EuroTour, we have the Predator European Pool Championships kicking off also in Antalya, and that will begin on the 28th of February. And that will be, by the looks of it, 11 days of action. So, well, we are in for a treat kicking off 2026, but as we end 2025 with the last EuroTour, and we're on the last day, we are in a great semi-final match between Oliver Szolnoki of Hungary and Hubert Lopotko. I love the way you pronounce his name, Joris. I am going to
so the L of the L letter of Lopotko is actually an L with a line through it, so some kind of letter we don't know, but I understood that you pronounce it as a W, so you pronounce it as Hubert Lopotko.
Thank you very much, sir. It can be difficult getting the names right in the comms box at times.
Absolutely, yeah. It's also like we have this discussion, or I have this discussion with, because in the women's edition we have 7 ladies from Asia, and Asian names are not familiar to our Western standards, and we kind of struggle not only in pronouncing it, but also in what is now actually the surname and what's the last name. And as I understood, Liu Shasha, Liu is the surname and Shasha is the last name. Well, in the way we pronounce it in the Western world, but Shasha is not her surname, it's her last name. Same as Pechun Cha. Pechun is her surname and Cha is her last name. But we really have to work with these Asian names, because I feel like, well, they are competing more often in international tournaments. So somehow we have to learn how to pronounce this well.
Well,
But for now it's quite challenging, isn't it?
it is. It is a challenge to keep up with it. We do our best. I'm sure there's people in the chat room laughing their socks off at us at times.
Yeah, most probably it is. And we apologize for all the inconvenience if it's not the right thing, but at least we're trying.
We are, and we do our best. We do our best to bring you not only top quality content, but the correct names. As, well, Hubert gets his second break.
In this
underway.
break turn, yeah. And it did not work out, huh?
No.
Now the only rescue for Robert is the 7 ball, and I mean that because now Oliver can open up the 5 and the 7, but he won't have a shape on the 3 ball because the 3 ball will be blocked by the 7. So he can still opt for a combination 3-7, but that 7 ball is for the moment rescuing Oliver. He's gonna gamble. He's gonna gamble with it, and he gambled wrong.
Yeah, I like the way he did that.
Yeah, absolutely. He knew he couldn't just roll into that 5-9 because of the 7, so he had to do something.
Yeah, he gave it a bit more oomph, but now all he's got is a. all he's got is an edge of this 3. But no, I use the word oomph, but he certainly had to give it more premise because the cue ball was looking like it was just going to lock where it is, and the 3 ball would have had no path to the center. So he gave it a bit more. I'm just wondering if the angle he sees is the angle for the pot.
Yeah, he went for the pot. He fully went for that cut shot towards it.
Did he get away
He
with it?
didn't raise his hand, so I assume, well, because by this side looks like he did get away with it.
Well, you could argue that he went for that shot. He seemed to play the 3, if on purpose, into the 8, knowing that the 3 would stay somewhere down there, and maybe was looking to ensure that the 6 or the 5 came into play. So the lack of the hand raise would indicate that was on purpose.
Yeah, well, indeed. Yeah.
And that's exactly how I would have played it. I wouldn't have put my hand up at all. Whether you meant it or not. So, not for the first time in this match, a familiar sight with Hubert with his jump stick.
Ooh, really close again, but failed to make it. And the cue ball stayed out. Now the 8 ball did roll in front of the 4 ball, but this is a very makeable combination, of course. And as the rest of the objects ball are all in the open, this is a great chance for Oliver to get a foot on the hill.
Yeah. But Potko couldn't have got closer to potting that ball. To all intensive purposes, was very unfortunate. Great jump shot. And left now Szolnoki with this 4-8 combination, and if he can still keep good shape on this 4, well, you'd fancy him getting to the hill, Joris.
Absolutely.
This is the semi-final. Yeah. Anything can happen in the semi, Joris, but...
No, indeed, we've seen that before, but to be honest, this is all going towards Oliver Szolnoki's direction. Gotta make a decision. I think he can draw that over the 7. He is indeed perfect. Still want some kind of an angle on this 5 ball. The 6 does not pass the 7 towards the side. So
do you think he's going to come around the 9? That does bring the
no,
9
I think
into
he's
play.
drawing. Yeah, he's not. He's going to draw this 2 rails out to shoot the 6 in the right side pocket. Or 1 rail out. But that's just perfect.
Well, exciting stuff. Oliver on the precipice of putting 1 foot in the final. And, well, we may think that the task in hand is a step too far for Hubert, but we fully know what he's capable of. But I think he's going to start needing mistakes from Oliver at this point. And we have not seen many of them, to be fair, Joris.
No, absolutely not. And Oliver is a world-class player with more titles now, with massive results in European Championships, of course winning the World Series, also in Italia in 2024 he won the EuroTour, so I don't think he will break down. And
No,
with this foot on the hill, yeah.
Well, you know, just to recap, which you were doing rather well in his last 2 events in the mixed couples. He won the final with Muyan Zhang from China. And the time before that, he made the final in a 9-ball singles event, just coming up against a strong Niels Feyen in the final. So in his last 2 performances has made the last match. It's only looking good for him.
It sure is, and he can now just sit and relax. Well,
he's got
the
his last
referee
of
is racking the balls.
Well, Oliver Szolnoki, 9-5 up, breaking his last of his set of 2 breaks, breaking for the match.
Well, the 1 ball got kicked this time, so it doesn't end up at the bottom left corner pocket, but all the way up there. Again, it was a dry break. He is really struggling with his break, and no matter what happens or who will take it to the final, if Oliver wants to win the finals, I hope for him that the break is working better than it was in this match.
Yeah, I got to watch a little bit of the other semi-final men's event between Felix Vogel and Luca Men, and both them players weren't getting it their own way on the breaks as well. So this change in format where you cannot break inside the break box playing its role, and possibly also the format of 2 breaks per person. So that's a push from Hubert, and it will give, well, Oliver the choice to take this on or not, and it looks like that one will pass the 10.
It is, but does it really value that? So you have to make the 1 ball top spin just next to the 2 ball, next to the 10. No, I wouldn't attack here, and I would give it back. So does Oliver, because attacking here is with low value. Yeah, he called the side pocket, so he will bring the cue ball towards the 7 and banking the 1 ball freeway up towards the 6. I think.
Oh. Oh. I think he went for that as a bit of a two-way. It wasn't far
sure.
away from the pot.
No, it wasn't. Definitely not. A real thin cut it was. Well, if he makes this, I'll eat my shoe. He's going to bend it from the bottom. He cut it. And no, he did not call that because then I would have said by eating my shoe. But he called it in the side pocket.
I think you should eat at least a flip-flop for that one. Fortunately, I don't own a pair of shoes, so I'm eliminated from that one.
Indeed. Mister, I'm walking always on bare feet.
Well, I thought he'd made the bank there. He called it. It did look quite a good chance for him.
Now there's an option here for Oliver to forward to topspin the cue ball into the 9 because the 9-8 need to be developed. And I'm not quite sure, but it looks like he has some a small angle to run into the 9. If he doesn't fancy it, okay, but at one time he needs to open them up.
Yeah, that 8 is rather ugly. I mean, it's off the cushion, so you could arguably say the bank to the centre pocket would be on, but then you've got a feeling that he's going to have to bank the 9 as well, where he'd leave the cue ball. So if he can't do anything with that 9-8, then we may be in for another twist or turn.
Yeah, I can also think about a safety on the 8, where you leave the cue ball where the 8 is and send the 8 ball 3 cushions around towards the 10 ball.
Yeah, that would be very good for a backup. Absolutely good spot. He may. No. Well, he may go
Open
into
up
the
right
office
here.
fight.
Yeah, might do. Somehow and someone you gotta play an inconvenient shot. Not for now.
Well, if he's picked up on your safety shot, then maybe he's just gonna play for that. I do like that option.
Nicely cued. Now it's decision time. He has to go for or the safety on the 8 or indeed for the bank. But I personally don't like the bank.
No, I don't. And he has been implementing a policy throughout this match of keeping his opponent in a lot of trouble. I'm just wondering if he'll call it in the bottom right corner here on the 3 rail. He has done. Just
indeed.
in case.
Just don't hit the 9 first, because it's very close over the 9. Well, perfect.
He's right into the 9. Where's the 8 going? Oh, the 8. Of course got in.
Hubert is laughing. Oh my goodness, I'm so angry. You can see him smiling.
Oh, Szolnoki on the hill makes a 3 railer on the 8 as a bit of insurance for getting safe on the 9, and now he has to deal with his own lock on the 9. Oh wow. Is he play? I thought he was
Are you looking at the time shot? You know the timing shot where you really think at it.
What's he doing here? Oh, just
he tried to keep it very close, but that 9 ball rolled just a centimeter too far.
For our viewers at
And
home,
now has this shot. It's a shot arm.
I fancy him for this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go close to the center pocket, or even if he is, he's going to screw back a little bit to avoid it. Yes, and my co-commentator Joris van Amersfoort and I was talking about a timing shot, and that would have been where you play across to the other opposite long rail as you've just slid off the 9 and pushing it over to the center pocket and bringing the cue ball back on to pot it. I've probably described that horribly.
Well, I could follow it, but I know the shot, so you did a good job.
Lopotko back to 9-5. It's not over yet. And we will swap over to Hubert to break. So,
indeed. And do you know what's not over yet either? The semi-final match at the ladies, at the women's, because after a big lead by Christina, it's now 6-6. And it's a race to 8. So Yasmin has grown in her match. And well, I always think that if you are back down far away and you come back to even it, you are then the favor of winning the match.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
To see if she can take it over the line. Yeah, she dug really deep. And also within 50 minutes from now on, the finals will start. I'm not quite sure how much or how less of an impact this energy drainer of a match will affect that match, that final.
Well, for the second time this evening, or rather today, the Szolnoki gets to break off on the hill. Try again.
Try again, and if you noticed, he broke from the other side of the breaking box. So from his own side. So he's really looking around for spots that will work. But up until now, nothing is really working for him.
No, we've seen Hubert play some snooker safeties, bringing the one ball up onto the short rail at the bottom of the table, but this time he's calling the cut into the top right pocket.
Yeah, and I like it because if you hit it too thick, then you will catch the edge of the 5, and the cue ball, the 5 ball, will then go to the long rail and back to the short rail. Like that. So indeed, if you miss it, then it will be safe.
Cue ball threatened to get stuck behind the 9 there as it collided with it, but it's just rolled out, so Oliver got a much easier look at this one now.
If he has a lot of guts, then he can cut this at the right side of the one ball very thin. Oh, he did. What an amazing shot. Well, to be honest, I think he deserved a little bit more than this because it was a great shot.
Yeah, the cue ball refused to slide past the 10.
It's a thin cut shot, but makeable.
Ooh, oh, I thought he was going to nibble a bit of the 2 to keep the cue ball down there.
No, it didn't. Now it still cuts back, both left as the right side.
Yeah, not a bad shot cutting into the bottom right corner. The cue ball should trace around 2 rails and come up towards where it is now if he goes that route.
Yeah, he's giving it tons of right side English to spin it around to 7. Now don't fall behind the 5 ball. You need to bounce away from it. Just there.
A quick whip of the hand from Hubert to ensure that the cue ball behaves, and it has. And well, hey, it's certainly not over. Hubert's got a really good look in here now. He's worked hard to open this opportunity up. 2 good pots.
And again, I will ask you, Gethin, do you think if it's 9-7, then the match is still on?
Well, I'm never going to say never. Oliver really just looking for that one slip up, if it's to come. So, right now, I would like to consider Lopotko on for the comeback if he plays flawless pool. And I will add one more caveat to that. He will need to get his break. He will need to get his break working. But I will say the same. It's sort of leveled out with the results from Szolnoki as well. So that's where the chances have really been coming for both players, is off the break.
Yeah, that break off is not working for either of them. And if the break is turning on for Roberto, then Robert can quite easily run back into this match. How far away is he? He is in a funny position, to be honest. He really underpaced it. He's now maybe drawing at 3 rails back. He is. Well, at least he has the guts. Now, I'm not gonna dizzle your hair, Gavin, but with this same shot in the former match, this 8-ball rattles in the pocket if you pace it with a lot of speed. Ooh, it just went in.
And the cue ball has hugged that long rail, refused to get off of it. Oh, makes it a little bit trickier for Lopotko, but you fancy him here. This could be 9-7. Ooh. Well, Szolnoki's not running away with this by any stretch of the imagination. He's had 2 breaks now on the hill, and his opponent has converted them to his advantage. The score now comes back to 9-7, and, well, you put me on the spot there a little bit, Joris. I don't think it's over. What are you thinking?
No, me neither. And it really depends on the break-off. And, well, if the breaks is going a little bit more towards the direction of Robert, then this ain't over. But one bad break-off, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
interesting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the finer margins. It did look 2-3 racks ago that it was all over bar the singing. However, in 2 short frames, we've got Hubert Lopotko off to break. He has 2 breaks now. If he can convert both of these, we'll be at Hill, and that will be a replay of our other semi-final.
Made the 1 on the side, so that's already good news. Has a shot on the 2, it does. Reaches the pot. Well, he has to draw the cue ball all the way back if he fancies to attack here. And he is not out of the woods yet, because after that the 7 and the 8 are in a awkward position. So the first question is this the right time to go aggressive? He says, well, yes it is, I'll call it.
Until you pointed out the 7 and the 8, I was already on the aggressive side. But yeah, you've really pointed out a spanner in the works there. Be interesting if he does go for it and feels this is his time.
Well, maneuvered between the 9 and the 10, so that helped. Got a little bit of an angle on the 3, but I assume that because the 4 passes the 9 to the side pocket, or the corner pocket of course, I'd rather play towards that short side of the 4 than to try to work and get above it. Yeah, and maybe just put a hold on the issue for the 7 and the 8 up until you're there.
Nicely played. May just be running into the 6 though. Difficult to see how much angle he has left himself on this 4, but looks like he's slightly high on it. Big round of applause from our other table, but doesn't put Hubert off.
No, fortunately not. I can tell you that Jasmine is now for the first time or at least since a long time, in the lead. Now 7-6 up in a race to 8. So
wow,
you
she's
can
won
see
quite
some
a few
fighting
there to get
spirits.
back.
Absolutely. Now, Hubert is perfect on the 5. So I personally think playing stop shot and drawing it from the 6 into the 7 would be my opt. Just go into it and see what it brings you.
I like what he's just done there. He's looked at the 7-8 combination.
8 combination.
And the 7 will kick over towards the bottom left corner if he takes that on. Ooh, Joris van Amersfoort.
Yes, Kevin Davis. Is he going to do that? Slow roll this 7 into the 8, make the 8 in the corner and sending the 7 towards the bottom left.
The 8's made it.
That just in there. Now you can see the angle going 3 rails. Sorry, yeah. He has to go 3 rails forward.
Yeah, this will be a big shot as well. He'll have made a few in this rack. Not to overshadow his opening shot. This is strong stuff from our pole here.
He is, but also, as you can see, he found a wrong angle on the 9. So he needed to go around the 10. Or play ton of left side English he's taking on. No, indeed around the angles. And this is maybe the first break and run we will witness in this match.
What a time to do it. What a time to do it. Oh, cue ball.
He did. Yeah. Wait a little second longer. Yes, it stopped right in time. So a nice moment for a break and run by Hubert Lopotko. Well,
absolutely. And
closed the gap to 1.
Oliver must be sat in his seat after breaking twice on the hill, wondering what he needs to do to get a break. And, well, Hubert was sitting pretty, now is standing pretty, and he must be fancying his chances here. He will get to break off again. And hey, if he can deliver one more break and run, and Szolnoki is dry breaking, oh, you know what I'm thinking, Joris. You know what I'm thinking.
I know. Well, and Hubert, as a Polish guy, he has all the right to say he's a fighter and he will never go up. As many Polish players are. Konrad Juticin is also known for it. Wojciech Świeswik is. But they all got into the last 32. Also Simon Kural, Mateusz Sigoki. just amazing how many good players Poland has delivered in the last few years.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also pretty flabbergasted by the number of players the Polish player we have at the table now has knocked out. We mentioned at the beginning of the match, but Sanjin Pelivanovic 10-2 in the quarters, Max Lechner in the last 16, Albin Ushan in the last 32. I mean, he's put in some great performances to get here, and he's kept himself in this match.
Indeed he has, and to be honest, it's quite interesting to see that there is quite some pressure now on Oliver. Oliver Szolnoki from Hungary did manage to get a snooker on this womble.
Yeah, has been implementing his safety game to good effect, resulting in the fact that Lopotko's possibly had as many jump shots as he's had regular shots in this match. But that won't matter.
Yeah, you gotta give that to Oliver, of course, keeping it very tight.
Yeah. Now that 10 appears to be blocking the 3 or 2 rail coming around the back of the 5.
And in the meantime, I can tell you that the ladies' match has finished. And it was a nice kick shot there.
Oh,
Hubert Lopotko, second prize for it.
yeah, he was
But
able to get around the 10.
Indeed, he did. But Yasmin Ushan got into the finals. So at 5 o'clock, she will face up against Leo Shasha, which is an amazing final. And the other final, the men's final, will go in between Luka Men and of course the winner of this match. And Oliver, to stay alive in this rack, needs to hit this one ball 2 rails out.
Oh,
called it in the
did he
wrong
call
pocket. No, I called it in the other pocket. So it's the choice now for Hubert Lopotko if he wants to take on this 2 ball. Before he already took it on to cut it on the bottom left. Missed it by a mile, but he did fancy the shot. But I fancy to give it back here.
both
What would
players
you do?
getting out
I
good.
think you're giving it back here too, Kevin.
Yeah. Yes. Unless you can really see thick on the blue too. If you could see really thick, then I would maybe attempt to try and just freeze the cue ball and thread the 2 up between the 6 and the 7 up to the top of the table. But as it looks like, he can only see the edge. Ooh.
Well, I think this is cuttable.
Did he tie the 6
I'm
up?
quite sure.
Did he tie
Oh,
the 6
that might
up?
be interesting. I did not check it.
That would be interesting if that was part of the plan. But yeah, this is certainly an edge.
Yeah. And if it's tied, then he could open it up right now. He didn't. So let's wait and see. Because you're correct, he's checking it right now. And that is a little bit on the late side, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm also now looking at the 4 not passing the 9, so bit of work to do here for Hubert. Certainly going to have to put in a good performance in this penultimate rack. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah. Now again, can you tell me from this camera angle if the 6 is going? And I tend to say it's not going towards the bottom left, the 6 ball.
No, and not from the way that Hubert had a look at if it would go into the right centre. That would indicate that it is in a really tough pickle.
Well, that's
We'll
nicely
find out
judged.
Could try and sneak into them here if he doesn't feel it's on. But he needs to be careful, because if he does hit it, that 6 ball's going to run up towards the 9, but from the looks of this angle. Managed to glance an edge, and that's worked out rather well for the Polish player.
Yes. And you can see Oliver Szolnoki in the background shaking his head. Oh my, that's worked out perfect for him. Oh, I was having such a big lead. And now, by the looks of it, this could go into a hill-hill match. Because this 6 ball is very nicely played.
Yep, and the way the breaks are going, it could be a coin toss, but you'd have to think the momentum is with the Pole here. Still needs to finish this one.
Absolutely. Using all his cue to get a little bit of a bounce.
His cue turned into the Harry Potter wand for a moment there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now don't go crazy here, because that pocket could spit it out. Keep it easy. Nice. That's good enough.
Wow.
So this 10 for a hill-hill match. Can you believe this, Kevin Davis?
I would not have called this 5, 6, 7 racks ago as it is. And as you questioned, does Hubert Lopotko have it in the bag to be able to keep in this match? Well, he's answered that question as the players shake hands. Fantastic stuff. We're locked here at 9-9 hill-hill. What a match for us, and what a match for Eva Boska-Chilova of the Czech Republic to look over. She hasn't really been called upon much in this match, but wow, wow, wow. And this will be the second of both semi-finals in this Predator EuroTour men's division to go hill-hill. Wow.
And I tell you what, to be honest, Kevin, we have discussed this new format we are having at the EuroTour for this season, where the break turn is going on 2 turns. Everybody's breaking for twice, then it goes over to the other player. And in a lot of cases, we have really seen a comeback. So I feel here you can call something about a comeback. And to be honest, Yasmin Ushan, who was trailing 5-1 and then winning 8-6, I do feel also the format is helping this. So another
great
comeback into a hill-hill. Here we go.
Oh, makes the 1, makes the 9. The 2 is covered, I think. Ooh, margins, fine margins in this final rack.
And I do believe that the 2 does not have the potting angle available. I do believe that there is a 2-6 combination available if he fancy to attack.
Oh, he made one like this in the first rack. Made it. Showed
Indeed,
his
he did.
intentions.
So that's why I'm calling it, because I would never take on the 2-6 combination, but we've seen Oliver doing it.
Big moment in the match to take it on. Just to add, and sorry Oliver,
He's
I have
calling
to say it,
something.
he has broken twice on the hill. This is his 3rd and final attempt to convert it. He's turned it down.
He's
to play
going
the
for a push out. Yeah. He said, I don't like it at all. And to be honest, I would always give it back. Because if he had a plan in attacking, he would have done it before. Because he's now in a worse spot than he is before. So I would really have given it back. Oh, he's going to gamble. And he's going to get away with it unless that free ball goes in. Oh my words. Well, I don't think Oliver has to think a long time about this. Because he's
like
always giving this back.
Yeah, but one thing I do like there is that he's gone out of his chair and he's had a proper look at it. I've seen too many occasions through the last 4 days.
Just keep on sitting.
Yeah, and that to me, I'm not a big fan of that. But each to their own. These guys have been playing a lot longer than I have, and certainly know the game better than me. So I'm not gonna criticize them too much. I just feel that sometimes there may be a trick that's missed if you don't go and have a closer inspection. That's all.
And I'm really happy, Kevin, that we are in a treat of a safety battle on Hill.
There is a shot of 2 rails and just glance the edge of the 3. Sorry, the blue 2.
But he can also just roll up from the bottom. I personally think that you can't win here, but you can lose here. He's calling the bank, the cross bank.
Full-blooded.
Wow, indeed.
How's your luck?
And no luck. Pointing his finger to his head. That was not the right choice, I feel, to go for.
No. If it had gone in, we'd all be applauding.
It is, we were. And it's all about choices and what do you feel to do. I rather just rolled it from the bottom, I think. But this is the chance Oliver was waiting for. Everything is in the open now.
What a match. What an absolute match we've had, Joris. I was watching the end of our other men's semi-final being brought to us with Mark White and Tim de Ruyter, and I was a little bit jealous that they got such a thriller. Little did I know we were going to be blessed with the same. Fantastic.
And I'll just have a little notice for you, Kevin, because it ain't over yet. As you can see, from the 6 to the 7 is not a hanger. It's quite a distance he has to work with. I assume that he will leave himself an angle on the 6. Indeed. So he now has 3 options. Or he can go forward 3 rails, just miss the 10 and end up close to the 8. Or he can go 2 rails backwards, ending up close to the 8. Or 1 rail backwards into the smaller area of the 7. And he's going forward 3 rails, just miss the 10, but make the 6. Needs to roll a little bit further. Oh, this is good enough. A little bit out of reach for him.
I was going to say, we're coming to the closing shots. This isn't the easiest, especially if he's reaching.
Nerves is also getting kicked in, of course.
I'm nervous for both players right now, because these are not the easiest.
Now everything is on the rail in this last rack, so he's going backwards, I think. 1 rail back. Still need to play it accurate.
Whoa. Well, what a comeback from Lopotko. brought it back all the way from 9-6. Or was it 8? I can't remember exactly now. Brought it back to Hill. However, one poor decision made, and that has given Oliver Szolnoki the win in this grueling semi-final match, and he will progress through to the final, which will take place in 20 minutes, and he will be facing Luca Men of Germany, who also came through a Hill thriller. And on the other final, which will be taking place at the same time, Predator Spanish Open Euro Tour Women's Final. Well, a great comeback from Yasmin Ushan, and she progresses to meet a matchup with Liu Shasha of China. Both matches kicking off in about 20 minutes from now, so please do not go anywhere. Refill your coffees, and we'll be back with you shortly. My name is Gethin Davis. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you this match with my colleague Joris van Amersfoort. We will both be returning on this table to bring you one of our finals, and my colleagues Mark White and Tim de Ruyter will be on the other table to bring you the other final. Exciting stuff. Thanks ever so much for staying with us, and we will be back shortly with both men's and women's final. Thank you, Joris.